Okay, sick. Hey everyone, Jack here again today with a short video. So we're going to be looking at all my wetsuit collection today. So my performance gear and my recreational stuff. We're going to look at pros and cons of either of them and what you need to be looking for if you're going to be picking up some winter gear, since we're getting into the thick of it now. So to get started, we're going to look at all of my recreational suits to begin with. We're going to start from the thinnest, working our way up to the thickest. So first suit on the line, I have my 1.5mm tropical water suit. So pretty easy, sick camo pattern on it if you want those nice blue camos and Power Ranger suit. The inside of it is a line suit, alright? Very simple, easy reason for this. It's a warm water suit. You're probably not going to get cold in this thing. Also, it's very easy to get on and off repeatedly. Hot weather conditions, you want a suit you can quickly take off, cool down if you need to, and something that's not too much of a struggle to get in and out of. Alright, so lined interior means you can put it on pretty much dry. Sometimes I use a plastic bag just to slide it on a bit easier, just so I prevent myself from stretching the material too much. Means I'm going to prolong the life of this suit even more. Now, this is a spearfishing design suit, so it comes with a built-in loading pad in the chest. Definitely tropical water suit. I use this for maybe 27-degree water and up. Definitely very helpful in those scenarios. The other advantage of using a suit in warm water, it's going to protect you from stingers, but also keep the sun off your back. Two very important features that you'll definitely never regret having your suit on for that. So, with that suit, comes with a high-waisted pants. One of two configurations that you might see with your pants setup. Reason I use the high-waisters, it's very easy to flood your suit, get some fresh water in there to cool yourself down. Very simple, easy reason for having the high-waisters. As we go along, we're going to take a look at the long johns as well. So moving in, we have my more Sydney-style suits. So if you're in Sydney, you're going to be diving a lot around the area. Mainly a 3 to 3.5mm suit is the way to go. So this is a 3.5mm suit. Simple spearfishing recreational style suit. Alright, if you're going to be diving spearfishing or recreation, get something lined outside. Don't get one of these smooth skins because you're going to lose it. You're going to get torn to pieces on rocks very, very quickly. So, lined outside, it's got a loading pad in the chest here, so this is also one made for spearfishing. The difference between that and my 1.5mm is that it's an open cell wetsuit. Open cell wetsuits pretty much mean you've got a rubber contact to your skin instead of the interior lining that you would see on that 1.5. Advantages of this, it keeps you much warmer. Alright, only real downside is you have to use some sort of lubrication solution to get into it. So a bit of shampoo or conditioner or silicone based lubricant, mix it with a bit of water, put it inside the suit before you get in, and that makes it very easy to slide it on. If the suit is bone dry, you can also get away with using talcum powder, but it has to be bone dry, otherwise you're just going to be stuck with a real gluggy mess inside your suit. So do not try to put these suits on without some sort of lubrication or something to help you get into it. If you try to put it on dry, it's just going to be a pain. You're going to tear the suit and you're going to be losing a lot of money on that. So general advantages. This is also a high pants setup. So I use this suit for pretty much October through to May. That's sort of the general range that I'd use it for. It's good for a couple hours in the water. Pretty much what you need to be doing in the spring and summer. Alright, pretty easy, pretty straightforward. As we're getting into the cooler months now, starting to get into the proper winter, water temperature's about 18 degrees at the moment, everyone's going to start shifting into their 5mm suits. So I have my 5mm jacket here. Again, spearfishing setup, comes with a loading pad in the chest. I've also got a little holster pad on the side here. I can store knives, or I can store my torch, or I can store the cap for my spear tip. I can put it all in there when I'm going out diving. So again, also open cell. Okay, for winter you want to get an open cell. Trust me on this. It's going to keep you much warmer than a lined interior, and it's definitely going to be there. You're going to be thanking me when you buy an open cell in the middle of winter and you're not freezing to death. Okay. Always with your open cells, make sure you're getting something that is very, very close to a perfect fit. You don't want to make sure you've got no pockets or free baggy movements in the suit. It has to fit very close to your skin. Not so tight that it's cutting off circulation and strangling you in the suit, but something which is going to be nice and firm, not going to have any loose spaces hanging off around you. So that's a standard 5mm jacket that I would wear. I go pure and simple, nothing fancy with this one. I like this brand and this make. purely because it's nice and tough. All right, it's very thick, very sturdy. The actual build quality is fantastic. I've had this suit for about 7 years and it's not showing any signs of aging. So that's just a Neptune 5mm, very good suit for 5mm. With that suit, I pair it up with a pair of long john pants, okay? Now the reason I use these long johns is it's extra warmth for free. If I was to wear high-waisted pants, every time I jump in the water, I get a little surge of water under the top layer of my suit. That's going to be surging in there, chilling me off straight away. Or if I suddenly move or any other reason like that, a lot of cold water is going to be rushing back up into the suit. Something you want to avoid in the middle of winter. It's not a nice feeling. You're not going to be needing to flush your suit out to cool yourself down in the middle of winter. Trust me on that. So, long john setup. It gives this extra layer of neoprene here. This is going to add in that little extra layer of warmth. So it's only a very thin layer. It's like an extra 1.5mm. This is going to add in all that little bit extra warmth onto you. So 1.5, it's going to be like a 6.5mm chest piece you're going to have there. So long john pants for winter, definitely worth it. It means you can stay out for hours and you're not going to get cold. So that's the recreational setups I have. Pretty easy looking suits to get. Definitely if you're going for recreational suits, try to avoid things which look like they're a bit flimsy. If they've got smooth skin paneling, it seems like a cool idea, except until you get off on some rocks or you skim your knee across something and your suit gets split straight open. So lined exterior, you don't need to go anything fancy. Just look around, ask your local shop for their toughest brands they've got, stuff with good stitching. Have a play around with it, check out the sizing and go from there. Moving along, we have my performance and competition style suits. Now the difference is, the main one, is a lot of these are all smooth skin coating. Okay, smooth skin coating, great for efficiency and hydrodynamics. It's much faster than my lined exterior suits. Downside of these ones are, they are much more delicate. So we're going to start with, actually we'll start with the thinnest suit, we'll work our way up. Easy enough, keep it consistent. So this one here, this is my 1.5 with a 2mm chest piece. It is a sleeveless suit. I bought this one a long time ago for competing in a pool comp in North Queensland. It was a very hot weekend out and we had to basically sweat it out before we got in the water. So you're preparing for your dive and you're already sweating. Very warm conditions. Very glad I got the sleeveless option. So the only real trade-off of that is I don't have smooth skin on my arms, so there is a little bit of drag created, but not really that much to make a big difference. So I've used that for the warm conditions. If you're going to be doing ocean diving, I would strongly suggest against using a sleeveless suit. The main reason being you're going to get horrible tan marks, and also if any stingers are in the water, they're going to end up all over your shoulders and down your arms. I've seen it happen a few times before with people doing depth dives with a sleeveless suit in the Philippines, and they just came back just red on the arms from jellyfish stings. So having that protection is very important. Moving along, I have my next thicker suit. So this is a 2.5mm full body smooth skin suit. Now, some people love or hate this suit. I personally love this one. It's my favorite one for no fins. I use it in the pool and I also use it for depth as well. So the main note of this one is there is no exposed stitching along any of the seams. It's all joined together. It's continuous paneling. So really big advantage of that, less drag getting created straight away. Another big bonus of this is that these wrist cuffs are tiny, really small holes on the wrist cuffs. Okay, they will stretch out a little bit, but they're still very tough little wrist cuffs there. Bonus for this, if you're doing a lot of dynamic no fins, when you push off from the wall, less chance of it flaring open, taking water into your suit and creating drag. Streamlining bonus right there. You can also see this on the neck piece, very thick neck seal along here. Some people love this, some people hate this. It's really a personal preference thing. I have no problem with this whatsoever. It just gets a little bit weird at first because it's a very thick panel here, but you do get comfort with it eventually. Main advantage of this is not going to blow open when you're putting a lot of force in the water. So it prevents the water getting into your suit. That's a real big bonus for doing your no fins or even in your dynamic. Same with the legs, really small cuffs on there. A good little care tip for these, if you're putting it on, open hand when you're grabbing it. So you're putting it on with open hands. You're not grabbing and pulling up the suit. Fingernails are the enemy of this suit. Any sharp objects, anything like that, just be mindful when you're wearing these ones. If you're going to be putting one on, to get past these little tight cuffs, I use a plastic bag over my hands and feet. just so I can very easily slide that awkward part through that part of the suit. Okay, it's a very simple care tip that's going to make your suit last a lot longer. So, smooth skin suit, 2.5, out of the way. We're going to move on to my next one. So this is something that I'd use for, say, constant weight. If I was using a monofin, something in sort of mid-range water. So this is a 2.5, in some parts 3mm. It's a bit of a custom suit. So I use the high-waisted pants for this setup. Notice again, no stitching on the outside, it's all stitched on the interior. Now the big difference with this one compared to my other two-piece suits is this is lined on the inside. Big difference with custom suits, if it's the right thickness and it's not too cold to water, having a lined interior is really, really good. Alright, it just means it's much easier to put on, less chance of breaking and damaging things. Definitely a very good way to look forward if you're going to be getting something that's, anything from 1.5 to 3mm. Lined interior you can get away with. If you want to get a custom for a colder water diving event, I'd recommend just going with an open cell. Alright, it's just going to be that extra bit of warmth protection that you're going to be looking for. So same with the jacket. Same again, you can see, all smooth skin, no stitching, nice and clean lines all the way along it. So custom fit suits are a big benefit. They're going to be a perfect fit, very good for comfort and overall, performance in your dive. So less loose ends, less places you're going to get cold, and in general they're just going to be way, way more comfortable. So if you're like me and you're between 3 different sizes, I go from a large in some suits up to a double XL in other makers, depending on what country they're coming from. Definitely a custom is a good option to go towards. However, always make sure if you're getting a smooth skin suit, think about what you're going to be using it for. I saw someone last month get absolutely creamed on the rocks wearing a smooth skin jacket and they tore themselves to pieces. So unless you want to spend a lot of time patching up your suit and fixing holes constantly, don't get a smooth skin if you're going to be rock hopping. Use smooth skins for blue water, performance dives, things like that. If you're having fun around rocks, shallows and reefs, get yourself a lined exterior. It's going to last you much longer. In particular, if it's your first suit, get yourself something with a lined exterior if you're not planning on doing any massive amounts of competition or performance dives. These things are a bit more of a pricier option to go for, and they're more used for that sort of purpose. So, performance suits, one side, recreational suits on the other side. If you're looking for suits, try to avoid the common trap a lot of people get. They go online, they can see something a bit cheaper, and they go, okay, this is cheaper than something I can get into the store, and they go ahead and buy it, only to find out that that suit doesn't fit them, and they end up with something that isn't going to be alright for them, something that might have the right range of motion, something that has pockets of air where water can spill in, or something that just falls apart the first time they hit a rock. So always go down to your local shop if you can, check what they have in stock, ask around for local stuff. Everywhere's got different brands which they stock. Just check in, see what the tough ones are, see what the local guys are wearing, spearing in your area, or if there's local clubs and competition groups, see what they're wearing, see what they recommend. Everyone's gone through a different type of suit, so I'm sure they'll be happy to share some advice. So that's pretty much it. It's a brief video today on what's in my suit collection. Going into winter, make sure you always got the right thermal protection. So 5mm definitely for the win if you're going to be training in the winter. The second you start to shiver, that's where your breath holding goes out the window. So that's it. I'm out for the day. Have a good rest of your winter getting out diving. Cheers.